It's NFL Week 8. Can you believe we are almost halfway home through the regular season? Of course, I'm Bryan Power. This is the Power 5 here on WagerTalk TV. Today, we'll be going over how all the lines are moving, some great trends to help you decide which teams to sell high and buy low on. Who is the only team in the NFL to score the first touchdown in all of its games this year? I've got the answer in a little bit. Plus, details on a very special offer for this weekend. And of course, we round things out with our power play of the week. But of course, I'm going to start by bringing up the WagerTalk.com live odds screen right now and see how the market is moving. We're going to start with the Thursday nighter. The Bills, they've gone from -8 to -9, -9.5, -10 at one offshore book. That's going to take them out of a viable teaser range for most. The total has remained at 43.5, though there are some 43s out there as well. My opinion on this game, it looks like a pretty easy Bills win. But again, wouldn't want to lay that kind of number. If you could stomach doing a 7-point teaser with something else on Sunday, that may be the best option here on Thursday night. Moving to Sunday, a lot of big line movement to discuss. Most of it is injury related. Quarterback Brock Purdy in concussion protocol. So the 49ers are now down to -3.5 at home versus Cincinnati, who's off a bye. News of Miami wide receiver Tyreek Hill missing practice on Wednesday dropped the Dolphins down to -9 against the Patriots, who just pulled an upset over the Bills last week. Second week in a row, Bill Belichick getting more than a touchdown in the division. Deshaun Watson is out again for Cleveland. So Seattle is up to -3.5, even -4 some places, after opening -2 against the Browns at home. The line has jumped the fence in Atlanta, Tennessee. The Falcons now laying 3 based on the fact quarterback Ryan Tannehill may be out for the Titans. That would mean either Will Levis or Malik Willis would be starting. Good luck, Tennessee, there. Some non-injury line moves. Jacksonville goes from -1.5 to -2.5 at Pittsburgh. I'll have more on the Steelers here in just a little bit and that game in general. Dallas, they're off a bye. They've gone from -5.5 to -6.5 at home versus the Rams. So although we're starting to see some buyback and -6s show up on the screen for that one. Denver, curiously down to +7 at home versus Kansas City despite 16 straight losses to the Chiefs. The latest one coming just over 2 weeks ago. Baltimore, off that dominant win over Detroit, goes from -7.5 to -8.5 at Arizona. The Ravens will probably be a popular teaser option there. Bears off a rare home win with Tyson Bagent at quarterback. Pardon me. We're just getting used to this guy. They have moved from +9.5 to +8.5 at the Chargers in the Sunday nighter. Lastly, on Monday night, the Lions now -8.5 against the Raiders. If your total's better, you may recall last week's under discussion. Several Week 8 totals are currently crashing. Eagles Commanders 47-43. Jets Giants 39-36.5. Falcons Titans 39-35.5. But one game where bettors like the over is Texans Panthers. That number has moved from 41.5 to 43. Of course, seeing as I'm recording this Thursday morning, make sure you continue to check the WagerTalk.com live odds screen all weekend long for the latest line movement. Now we move to what team we want to sell high on for NFL Week 8. For those new to the program, that means we're trying to identify a team that may be overvalued in the market and or is prone for a letdown. I think the Minnesota Vikings fit the bill this week. They're off a surprising win over the 49ers Monday night. That was a 3% win for my clients and part of a 2-0 sweep on that game. I also had George Kittle over 48.5 receiving yards. This week, though, the Vikings are on the road, visiting the division rival Packers, who are a very disappointing 2-4. However, here's the thing. These two NFC North foes have nearly identical year-to-date point differentials, same number of losses, 4. Vikings have played one more game, so they have 3 wins. And Minnesota rarely wins by margin. So if this number were somehow to get to Vikes -1.5, definitely consider teasing the Pack up through the key numbers of 3 and 7. But I would also just look to fade Minnesota in general, guys. It's a week-to-week league, and it wasn't that long ago the Vikings were 0-3. Over the last 3 seasons, Minnesota is 5-6 straight up and 3-7 ATS went off back-to-back wins. Green Bay on an 11-5 ATS run as a dog. They're also a perfect 6-0 ATS in the second half of the season, so keep the faith if they're down at half. Situationally, teams playing on short rest after an outright win as a dog, like the Vikings are here, have gone 28-68 straight up the following week. P.S. If you like that trend, stay tuned for our stat of the day. Of course, the Packers could also qualify as a buy low team this week, but it's a new segment now as we move to buy low. We want to look at a different game. We're going to try to identify an undervalued team here in this spot, and we're going to look at Saints at Colts. I think it's time to buy low on New Orleans. They get a little extra prep time coming off that very frustrating loss to the Jaguars last Thursday. The Saints may be just 3-4, but they've got a positive year-to-date point differential and a good defense to boot. They're taking on an enigmatic Indianapolis team this week. Hard to figure out the Colts week to week. I understand that. I know I talk to a lot of people who say I'm constantly wrong on Colts games, but I'll say this. I'm not a buyer on Indy long-term as long as Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback, and he's going to be the rest of the way. I know they put a lot of points on the board last week in a home loss to the Browns. That was a shocker that game saw 77 points with P.J. Walker and a Browns defense. But Minshew's just 2-12 straight up and 4-10 ATS his last 14 starts. Not to mention 2-8 straight up when facing a defense that allows fewer than 20 points per game. The Saints, just so happens they allow 18.1 points per game. Colts open as underdogs. They're now favorites. I don't agree with that line move. I'd buy low on New Orleans. Who are you buying low and selling high on for NFL Week 8? Let me know down in the comments section below, and while you're at it, smash that like button, give the Power 5 a thumbs up. Also, if you aren't already, make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our exclusive sports betting content, including the Power 5. Now, our stat of the day, there's one team in the NFL that can say it has scored the first touchdown in all of its games this season, and that would be the Baltimore Ravens, who are minus 8.5 at Arizona this week. Don't think the Cardinals are a team built to come back if they fall behind, which they probably will here. They've been awful in second halves so far this season. So keep an eye on if the Ravens can make it a perfect 8-for-8 this year, scoring the game's first touchdown. Now, before we get to the power play of the week, I would like to let you all know that you can get 3 days of my plays for just $49. That's $20 off the normal price. And what a weekend to take advantage. I'm going to have 8 college football selections for Saturday, a big NFL card as well. Don't forget about soccer, where I'm number 1 at WagerTalk this season in both win percentage and ROI. NBA has gotten going. Plus, we've got the World Series starting Friday. It's going to be a lot of picks if you jump on board this weekend. What a great value for just to get the entire weekend, 3 days for just $49. To take advantage and get the next 3 days for $49, just use the coupon code ACCESS3. That's ACCESS3 at checkout. And that'll get you your discount right there, your $20 discount. Okay, power play of the week. This one doesn't cost you anything. I am fading the fraudulent Steelers this week. Yes, I know Tomlin is a dog at home, but Jacksonville's won and covered 4 straight. And the Jaguars are simply the better team here. Don't care what anyone says. Pittsburgh, along with Arizona, the only teams in the league to have been outgained in every game this season. In fact, the Steelers are being outgained by an average of 110 yards per game. They have a minus 24-point differential despite their 4-2 straight-up record. All 4 of those wins have been lucky. Kenny Pickett, not a good quarterback. Going back to the start of 2021, the Steelers have been outscored by 117 points in 40 regular season games. They have just 3 wins by more than 1 possession during that time, despite my very disappointing 5% loss on the Rams last week, and no one took that harder than me. Trust me. I remain steadfast that the regression monster is coming for the Steelers. No team is immune to regression. I'll play Jacksonville on the money line, though. Let's not lay points on the road. The money line is the way to go with Jacksonville for this week's power play, minus 145. And that does it for the Power 5 for Week 8 of NFL. Check me out on X at Bryan Power _wins. Be sure to take advantage of that $20 discount on a 3-day package. Again, use the coupon code ACCESS3 at checkout. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.